Alrighty guys, we're back for some second spell Falco, and we're going to go over the deck, then hop into some normal play mode. We've been playing ranked the last couple of videos, and I'm curious to see what normal play mode looks like. That being said, I don't know if this is going to be good enough for ranked anyways, but it very well might be. We'll find out together, won't we? For anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat, and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well. Additionally, guys, we do got that sub goal set all the way up at 1,000, and you guys are crushing that goal so far, so thank you, and if you want to help us reach that goal and you enjoy the content, then do consider subscribing because it is much appreciated, friends. Okay, with the YouTube stuff out of the way, what do we got here in the deck? We got 3 Chaplain of Alms, we have 3 Codespell Clerics, 4 Hopeful Initiates, 4 Monk of the Open Hands, 3 Portable Holes, and 3 Slip Out the Backs. Those are a lot of 1-drops, and they're pretty powerful ones, honestly. We'll go over some of these a little bit more after I get the rest of the deck out of the way. We have 4 Clarion Spirits. We have 4 Luminarch Aspirants. We have 4 Ledger Shredders. And then on the top end of the deck, I know, right? Very cheap cards. Very cheap casting cost, right? 4 Brokers Ascendancy, and then 2 Falco Spara Pactweavers. So what does Falco do here? So it has the 1 mana and then broker colors, or Bant colors if you'd prefer, right? Legendary creature Bird Demon, flying trample 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, it gets a shield counter, and shield counters are pretty legit, guys. I like them. They're pretty cool. They're pretty powerful. You may look at the top card of your library anytime, okay? You may cast spells from the top of your library by removing a counter from a creature you control in addition to paying their other costs. So what this is going to help us do in this deck is actually make sure we're casting our second spell each turn, right? So that's kind of pretty cool, right? But it is on the top end, so you don't want too many of these. And honestly, yeah, even if I had 3, I wouldn't play 3. I think 2 is just enough. We'll see though, right? So Brokers Ascendancy is a great way to get counters on all of your creatures, especially when you're going wide with Clarion Spirit. So at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each Planeswalker. Don't got Planeswalkers, but yeah, ways to go wide with Clarion Spirit is pretty sweet when you start to get all those counters from the Ascendancy, and then it's pretty easy to just drop one of those counters to play more spells off the top of your deck with a Falco, right? So pretty cool, right? And then Ledger Shredders, another new one here. So it is a 2-drop 1/3 flying. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Ledger Shredder connives. So if you haven't seen what connive does yet, to have a creature connive, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. So that's pretty sick, man. And this is whenever a player, so this is also if your opponent casts their second spell on their turn as well, you get to connive. That's kind of why the Chaplain of Alms is in here as well. I did look into more like flashback spells and disturb spells for the deck, but I couldn't find it. It just didn't seem worth it to have all those in here just for one connive card, right? But the Chaplain is a great discard target because maybe at some point later on you can bring it back for its disturb cost. But it's also just pretty solid in here because of the first strike ward 1, because you can start to put counters into it pretty early on with like Luminarch. And then, yeah, that first strike is pretty good, guys. It's pretty good. Anything else, guys? Yeah, so our second spell cards is all right here. Codespell Cleric, Monk, Clarion Spirit, and the Ledger Shredder. Those all want to be... all those want to have 2 cards cast each turn, and Codespell obviously wants to be the second spell cast on a turn, right? Oh, Slip Out the Back is another new card, guys. It is 1 blue mana for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then it phases out. So hopefully giving us a little bit of extra protection, maybe against meat hooks or any kind of sweeper, really. Just any kind of protection. I think this could be pretty good to protect like your big buff Ledger Shredder from some kind of like exile effect or whatever, right? I don't know. It seems like pretty solid protection, right? Anything else? No, the deck's pretty easy. The deck is pretty simple. In the mana base, nothing too fancy. Everything leans towards white here, and then we have 4 of Spara's headquarters as well. I think that's it. This was an easy one, guys. Let's go ahead, hop into some normal play mode, and yeah, see how it goes. Falco was a particularly difficult card to build around. Now, I landed on about 3 decks with Falco, and I was like, okay, which one utilizes his ability the most? That's the one we'll showcase, right? And I thought that this second spell deck utilized his ability the most. So here we are, right? So this is an interesting one. I think we go Deserted Beach on turn 1. That way we can... Oh, okay. Well, it's going to be Spara's headquarters. So on turn 2 we have Monk, and then we can actually Portable Hold the Unlucky Witness if that's what we want. Or the Professor. The Professor's a little bit tricky to hit off a Portable Hold, because if they end up getting some artifact removal, they do get the benefit when the Professor comes back. So we could go... we could just wait and go into the Hopeful Initiate here, because it's a pretty good swing next turn. It's a pretty good one. Maybe we'll get the Brokers Ascendancy here. That would be pretty sick. Opponent is playing some Mardu Sacrifice is my guess. I don't know. Do we want to start to Portable Hole things, or... I mean... Yeah, I guess. I guess. The Shamble Buddy? Such a janky little grab there, but this is going to go up to 3. They'd have to double block the Initiate, and then both of theirs dies, which I don't mind, because they lose their whole board if they double block here. And then we kind of save the Portable Hole back then. Let's see what they do. Either double block I'm okay with, because... Okay, so it's going to be a chump on the 3/3. Oh no, they do go for the double block, so it is technically a little bit... Okay. They decide to go for the chump here. Let's see what they hit off the top. Eaten Alive. Okay. So they have to sacrifice a creature to do Eaten Alive, so a Portable Hole on the Professor now wouldn't be terrible, but I do think we end up waiting here. What do you guys think? I think if they want to sacrifice and do all that nonsense for the Eaten Alive, then have right at it, right? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, so even if we would have taken the Professor, they still would have had the Unlucky Witness ready to go. So when we first started playing some Streets of New Capenna, we did, oh, okay, so they actually keep their Unlucky Witness back here. We can play this on... We can play this on white pretty confidently, I'd say. Another Portable Hole here. And then we start to buff the... We start to buff this with the Luminarch. Yeah, I think we take the Unlucky Witness. Luminarch. And we start to buff you. That way next turn it can start to buff the Hopeful Initiate on its own. I don't think we play this. I think that the opponent is definitely playing a Meat Hook style deck, and we might be getting dangerously close to it. Darn it. Well, I mean, we have stuff to play, which is actually, you know, that's not terrible. We have stuff to play. I think we can also confidently play this on blue now, too. Oh, we can bring this out. And we're going to hold this in hand because more Meat Hooks, honestly. Even though we could cast it out as a flying, I think it's just better to hold on to. Because when these end up dying, then they're exiled, so you can't just keep casting them from the grave. Anyways, when we started with Streets of New Capenna, we played some regular play mode in hopes that, hey, Falco. Yeah, we played some normal play mode in hopes that we would see a bunch of new types of decks, but it ended up being a bunch of old types of decks. Okay, Brokers Ascendancy. Nice. Nice. Brokers Ascendancy is pretty good here. We just can't play it yet, so I think it's the same concept. We hold. Okay, they do end up chumping. Deadly Dispute? Deadly Dispute. Okay. So what Deadly Dispute does is it does make it so that way if they don't get a land here, they still have Meat Hook for 3. So if they end up Meat Hooking again, then it's unfortunately not looking amazing for us. They got the land anyways. So Falco could go bye-bye, because I'm pretty sure shield counters don't protect from minus abilities. Shield counter. If this would be... Wait. Where am I? If this would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter from it instead. Okay. Yeah, so I don't think that protects it from Meat Hook. We can actually play this off the top, which is pretty cool. We'd have to lose the Initiate's counter, but we're going to get it back if we swing. This does have first strike. So hear me out. I say we do play this off the top because it's kind of like drawing an additional card. Okay, now we know we're getting a land next turn. We get everything down and start to buff everything, right? What do you guys think about that? We can confidently swing here, and they'd have to double block the this, right? And then they'd have to double block this too. So it's gonna look like this. Okay. That's not bad for us. That's not bad for us at all. It's really good, actually. Alright, Meat Hook for 4 would be devastating now. I'm terrified of Meat Hooks. Anyways, I was trying to tell a little mini story there, and I got completely caught up in the match. Shamble Buddy, okay. It looks like we might end up running away with this one unless they have more removal, which they're gonna definitely need here. Oh! Opponent played a card and conceded at the exact same time. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Well, GG opponent. Hey, we got one. Anyways, yeah, so it looks like maybe now is a good time to do normal play mode, because it does look like a lot of people are testing out quirky decks, which is fun. Let's see if that happens again. Because I haven't seen any Mardu sacrifice in ranked, which I feel like is weird, right? Like, Mardu, man. How come no one's doing it? Because everyone's busy ranking up, right? Too busy ranking up. Yeesh. I don't like it, but I like it. I don't like it, but I like it at the exact same time. We're keeping it. Wow, that's the second time we drew the headquarters. Weird. Oh no, please, opponent, please. I just got done saying maybe there's a bunch of new quirky decks over here in normal play mode, and this is what you bring? Don't do it to me, please. Be a different kind of enchantment deck, at least. We're gonna want to start to go wide, I'd say. Start to go wide as soon as possible. What's scary about enchantment is how much removal they can actually pack into it with all the exile enchantments and stuff. So, I think... Okay, so this is going to be some runes. And that lifelink is a brutal. Yeah, we're going to take it. Ascendancy. We could get this down and start, but I think it's wiser to go wide first, right? So we'll go Ledger into, we're gonna go Codespell this time, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna connive the Ledger, And we're gonna ditch the other Codespell here. And then we're gonna put the counter onto the ledger. And then if they don't have a way to boost the Kami of Transience, then we have a decent blocker. Or if they don't have a way to get rid of the ledger shredder, I guess, which is 100% possible. Which is why, like, having slip out the back open would be really good, but... What you got for me, opponent? Rune of Might? Yeah, that'll do it. That gets it over the ledger shredder pretty easily. I think we're just gonna take this damage. Hopefully we can keep up with this, though. Rune of Speed, sure. Let's go. Kind of like that land here. Let's ditch the Chaplain. That's kind of what it's here for. I was planning to play it as that first strike to start getting buffs from the Ascendancy, but it doesn't look like that's going to be worth it now. Ow. Got to be careful with that trample. Okay. Yeah, like, that trample's really bad for us, isn't it? I'd love to get... Man. So we're gonna go the Ascendancy. And have the slip out the back open. This is really tough decisions, guys. Because we could go wide here and get a counter, which I don't mind. Just getting another counter on the Codespell doesn't seem that bad, honestly. But we get a free swing from him, too, so we're going to try to keep a blocker because we're pretty sure that the opponent can actually... And then we're going to do this because we get the Connive and we get the extra Spirit. This is rough, man. This is a uphill battle. A 5/7 doesn't sound too bad to have in the air. It's actually going to get another buff too. We'll ditch the Monk. Make sure we get those extra counters. Oh yeah, Codespell doesn't come back until... it phases out until the start of our next turn. So if we would have kept that open, we could have phased out the Kami of Transience there. It's really funny, actually. But then we wouldn't have gotten our second spell from the Spirit or the Ledger. So like that's up for debate as to what the best option there was, because if we didn't use it, because if we used it on their card, they would have got the Kami of Transience back right away. Man, I just hope that's enough to kill it. We just don't know what's in their hand. If they're like rocking snakeskin veils and stuff, or like crazy things in their hand. Did we get there? We got there, guys. The Kami of Transience is dead. I mean, it gets to come back at the end, but like that is huge for us. Oh my goodness. Anyways, yeah. So I still don't know what the best option would have been there, because if we didn't get that second Spirit, then we would have had to... I don't know, man, but we could have phased out their own Kami. It's weird. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I'm completely split on it. Could play that out on white pretty confidently, I'd say. And now we could start to get huge swings, which we're going to need at this point. Hopefully we don't just straight up die here, but we'll see. We got plenty of blockers. So Rune of Speed into a couple other things could be huge for the opponent. Okay. So they got the Rune of Speed, but they're going to need a land if they want to play another rune now. GG opponent, let's go! The double Ascendancy! So yeah, luckily, yeah, the play that made my brain melt didn't come back to haunt us. I guess maybe it was the right play to use it on our own creatures to get that extra spirit on our turn and also get the extra buff on the Ledger Shredder, but I don't know. It could have gone south really fast. So keeping this open to phase out their Kami maybe could have been a play too. But then their Kami of Transience would still be floating about out there. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so Runes deck down. Very nice. It's really funny that we go up against a Runes build right after I say like, oh yeah, there's going to be a ton of new decks floating about in normal play mode. Okay. I don't know, man. Why did the opponents keep going first? How fair is that, game, huh? You trying to make me lose? Yeah, the opponent went first the first game we played too, right? So turn 1 play here doesn't matter. It's probably better to actually get some buffs out of the Codespell and the Monk on turn 2. Crap. What this tells us is we want to probably play this on blue. Alright, very well. I'll be very, very greedy. Oh, Jund. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, speaking of new decks, guys. Jund is rough. Very, very rough. No play. Wow. I'm tempted to just drop the Ascendancy this turn. Let that start to go. Because we could just throw out all of our 1-drops next turn. It would be smart to just do Monk and Codespell. What do they have open over there? Is it worth the 1 damage for like something potential? Okay, nothing. Good. Good, excellent. Anyways, yeah, keeping the slip out the back open is probably wise, and just play the Monk and the Cleric next turn. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay, we've seen this Jund build a few times, so we'll go ahead and buff the Monk here. I forget if this Jund build runs Meat Hook. I feel like it doesn't. Either way, the Ascendancy this early. Nice, let's go, guys. Let's go. I was gonna say the Ascendancy this early gets us out of the way of a lot of like Jund board wipes, or board wipes that would be available to Jund colors, right? Nice. 100% win rate so far. I mean, we're doing things, so that's good. We've been I've been winning a lot in these videos, which I don't know, it feels weird, man. Feels weird. See if we can actually go first here. We can definitely fit a couple more matches in if this is how fast they're going. It's always easier to win in normal play mode though, guys, because there's no stakes for the opponent. They often concede. Like way more, right? I think this is another one where we want to go greedy and get the Clarion Spirit down before we start dropping other goodies here. What do you guys think? What would you do? Okay, so that tells me to play this on white. Get the Clarion Spirit down. Do we want to go wide or Ledger Shredder? I think wide. Ledger Shredder's better after a little bit of an established board state, I would say. Because we don't know what's on their side. They could easily just start to... Alright, very well. You can keep your treasures. You can keep your ramp with your Magda. That's technically a pretty good trade, honestly. It really is. So it could be Ledger Shredder into Hopeful Initiate or Codespell Cleric. There's a lot of good plays here. It could be Clarion Spirit into Initiate. It could be, I mean, it could be Luminarch into Codespell. and just swing with a 4/4 Clarion Spirit. A lot of plays, man. A lot of plays. I think we're gonna stick to going wide, and we will go for the bigger swing. Bigger swing next turn is probably better. Unless they have a Crush the Weak, we kind of want to get past the Crush the Weak. Yeah, no, maybe it was Codespell. Maybe. We just don't know what the opponent's playing is the problem. Like, they have 4 mana open. A Crush the Weak would be brutal. Yeah, so if we knew what they were playing, I'd be a little bit less scared right now. I'm gonna attempt the swing, even though technically blue has some flash. Yeah? Something. Seismic Wave. Woo! Okay. 2 damage to any target, 1 damage to each non-artifact creature target opponent controls. Okay, we gotta be more careful about that. We gotta get over the Seismic Wave here. First of all, that's a trade, right? That's a trade. Double checking, making sure it doesn't have like first strike or something. Dang, they still have 3 mana open. Oh, I don't know, man. Yeah, see, we could have gotten over the Seismic. We should have just anticipated some form of board wipe. Oh, okay, Cathartic Pyre. Okay, okay. So, we got to... Okay, we have a bunch of white sources. I think it's safe to go blue here. Even though we don't need a lot of blue, but if we get like a slip out the back or something, it'd be nice to have one open that isn't accidentally tapped down for white or something. So we're gonna go Ledger Shredder into Luminarch and let the Luminarch start to do some business here. Maybe even discard the Codespell. It would draw first. Really? Another Cathartic Pyre. Well, in that case, we discard the land that we just drew. Oh, man. Okay, this deck is piecing us apart, isn't it? Okay. So, we could play this one on white. That's fine. Actually, we could keep it to discard to a Connive, too, but I don't mind playing it here. Bro, if you kill my Luminarch, don't do it. Don't do it, opponent. I know it already has a huge target on its back, guys, but we need to, like, get above the Cathartic Pyre nonsense. We got there. Okay. We got to 4, so it's a little bit harder for red. I guess we'll play this. I guess. Because if we get a Falco... We could kill that Eater of Virtue with the Helpful Initiate here. It's actually kind of insane that's an option for us. Whoa, okay. And they're gonna equip that. Cool. I like that, opponent. I like that. Let's see what we draw here. Portable Hole does not hit that. Although it does hit the Eater of Virtue, which is better than using the Initiate ability. Problem with Calamity Bearer is no matter what, it does double damage, so it's going to kill anything over here. That's a problem, right? So 1, 2, we could just not worry about it. It just full swing anyways. But I think we start to buff everything. And we hold it. This is a terrible trade for us is the thing. Our Luminarch is actually really valuable here. And they don't even have to trade. They could block like Initiate if we like full swing. Yeah, no attacks this time round. And I'm going to get a drink of water real quick. Okay. So they pass it to me. Okay, we really don't want to see land here. So they have Den of the Bugbear open too. If we swing, the Initiate does get that buff. I think we start swinging because at this point, the opponent has proven that their deck can control. So if they trade into Luminarch and we have a nice chunky Initiate here, I think that's completely fine. And just in case they weren't going to take the trade, we didn't swing with the Codespell Cleric. Because they could have blocked there and taken 8, and then we just would be another creature down if we draw like an Ascendancy or something. Also, they had Den to power up if they really wanted to. Which they're going to do now, actually. We're just going to take the damage. Let's see what we draw. Nice. Good draw. That's spicy, man. Now, oh, GG opponent. Wow, really? Honestly, I think that could have gone either way. I really do think that could have gone either way, but we don't know what the opponent's deck really was. It had a lot of removal here. It had the Calamity Bearer. Maybe Giants. Maybe it was as simple as like some kind of Giants build. That's pretty cool though. GG opponent. Let's see if we can get one more fast one. The games have been relatively fast. I do think we can get one more fast one in before we hit that 40-minute mark. This was a fun deck, guys. I would have liked to see us be able to use Falco's ability more, but it's like I said, I don't think you can warrant having 3 Falcos unless like there's some deck that I didn't think of that really needs that many of the Falcos. It's a really neat card, but look at these tapped land, bro. Oh no, opponent. When I said I wanted a fast game, this isn't what I meant. Opponent. Okay, crap. Right, so Portable Hole. Probably the Naturalist, right? I think so. We could let them get some more buffs on it first, and I can set up for the Monk. That's so greedy, man. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. We have a lot to do next turn. And we're gonna start with Monk and then Portable Hole. Runeforge Champion, the combo! Gasp! Oh no. Well, let's see how much they can pop off here. Give haste. It's like I said, man, keeping the Portable Hole was back was very greedy, so they could literally just keep going until we're dead at this point, if they're lucky enough. So far, so good. They have 11 damage. Yes, okay, we're alive. We're alive, guys. That's all that matters. Okay. Monk, Codespell, Portable Hole. Opponent, you barely let me play my cards. Ya big meanie. We're obviously not going to attack here, so either one's fine. And then Portable Hole on the Naturalist. We gotta break this combo. And then keep blockers open, which is a shame. But we'll see what happens. That's what I get, man, for not using the Portable Hole early there. Wow, still have 3 open. Wow, GG. You can see why people still play runes, guys. They can pop off and pick apart your deck. Wow. Why did they pass? I'm so confused. Chaplain, Initiate, and keep the flip out the back open. Technically, right at the beginning of their turn, we could have the Runeforge slip out the back, but I'm curious to see where they actually pump all the counters from the generous visitors here. They have another Runeforge. Okay. Let's see. Probably the trample. Yep. Trample onto the visitor. Let's see where this. So if they pump all their counters into the visitor here. Yep. So see how slip out the back's gonna be interesting. Wait, could we have slipped out the back before the rune hit the board? Oh yeah, I think so. I think so, guys. That's my bad for not playing enough. Either way, we get it. We get to trade into the Runeforge champion here, which is actually pretty sick. They might not have actually done that. Let's see which one they take. I think that's fine. We're alive! Not for long, but we're still alive. Ooh. Nice. We got really good draws. There's no coming back from this visitor though. Let's be real. I'll save it to block, but there's not a whole lot we could do. Dang, bro, runes are rough. So that's actually one of the builds that I had for Falco was an enchantment build, and I thought it was too old school. We're just gonna actually let's just take the damage here, guys. Let's just take the damage. It's the opponents, let's be real. 80% total win rate, pretty solid overall. Yeah. A couple misplays with slip out the back, but I'm hesitant to call them misplays. Maybe bad plays or poorly optimized plays, and they ended up working out in our favor anyways. See all my Falco builds? I really thought about it, right? But this was the one I landed on because I wanted a deck that would utilize that second ability on Falco the most. Casting spells from the top of your library. So once the board state is like ready to go, being able to cast those extra spells. The problem with Falco is it would probably just be better to have red in here and have Showdown of the Scalds or something, right? That being said, this was a fun way to do it, so that's good. Like Brokers Ascendancy was really fun, right? Being able to buff that wide board just like we dreamed of, right? Exactly what we wanted. Couple things in the mana base is it's actually pretty slow, and oop, I hit the mic. I apologize if that actually went through into the video. I'm not convinced that you need to go like this heavy into all the dual land and stuff. You could probably get away with just more plains and less of the slow lands like farmland and the beach. But at the same time, there was like you still want to be able to get Ascendancy down when you can, so maybe it is necessary to have this much dual land. It did feel a little slow sometimes. Slip out the back. There's probably a better card to put in here, honestly. What do you guys think? Even though it did do a little bit of work, there still might be a better card to add to the deck that I just can't think of right now. Maybe even just more removal of some kind, even like a Fateful Absence or something could be pretty good. But yeah, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.